2014. I've been out of the game for 6 years, bro.
You graduated before me, but I went to college for 7 years because I'm a doctor.
Same.
Well, good.
I'm a butt doctor.
I remember my friend in fucking it was like middle school. A friend of mine's dad was I don't know what the technical term is, but a penis doctor, penis specialist, have you? And
Urologist.
He would urologist, I guess. Yeah, but I don't think my friend really knew.
It took
that
me a second
either.
to come up with that. I know this.
He would always be like, "Oh, my dad's a doctor." Like, he's told me stuff like, "I know my dad's a doctor," and I'd be like, "Yeah, dick doctor."
All right, welcome, everyone. Welcome back.
Jeremy Myers' dad like a plastic surgeon who like put people's faces back on?
Yeah, he was an eye doctor.
I thought he was a plastic surgeon.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
What kind of surgeon are you gonna be, Ben?
All right.
Well, I'm not actually a doctor.
Shut up, everyone.
Just a word for anybody. I'm not actually a doctor.
He's a doctor of thugonomics.
Thugonomics. I got my doctor.
Word life. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, as per usual, we have gorgeous Ben Reynolds.
Meow.
And the doctor of thugonomics. Oh, shit, that's actually Ben. Doctor of thugonomics, Andrew Etchen.
No, let's just call him a urologist.
Why do you always say Ben's name first?
The urologist of thugonomics.
Well, Andrew, I'm going to throw you a curveball here.
The thugonomics penises.
I wonder if John Cena would be okay. Tugonomics. That's
the
good.
Of tugonomics.
I wonder what that sounds like a porn that's like ready to be made. Also, okay.
We're on to something.
I saw there is coronavirus porn now, and I thought, man, the porn industry is like fucking like cutting edge. The porn industry is
going to be
on
pornography of the coronavirus in female form. It'll be crazy.
Is the coronavirus going to replace like all of the weird like step sibling stuff?
I don't know. That'll be a tough.
That's a strange fad these days.
It'll be a tough one to topple.
Everyone's keeping it in the family.
Oh man. But coming up on Hard Reset number 118, we'll be discussing the path The Last of Us adaptation is taking. They're headed down a little bit of a different road. Resident Evil 3's safe rooms, not so safe. New but somewhat familiar contender in the Battle Royale genre. The triumphant return of 2K. Ben, I'm glad you sent us that one. And finally, some fucking PlayStation 5 leaks. Then for our...
They may not be great ones.
Might not be good. But then for our topic of the show,
anticipation is key.
We will be taking a literal look back at the games of this generation and how they stack up graphically against one another. But before we get to all that, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Andrew, tell me what you've been playing.
Well, no surprise here. More Warframe. Just keeping myself ready for the June update. Oh, yeah.
You're going to keep yourself ready for like 4 months?
Yeah. Well, there's plenty to do. I still have a lot of random stuff in that game I can do. But I did recently finish my collection of all the like special versions of the shiny frames like that are out, which is always fun. So it's more of a flex move than
shiny
anything.
Versions of the Warframes.
Correct.
Nice. He said it. He said it.
That's been crazy is like on the store, you can get items, or in the game you can get items and you can sell them to other players for money. You can trade like that. And I just the last few weekends have been hustling, and like it is astonishing how easy it is in that game to just earn like fucking shitloads of.
I think I remember you talking
money.
to us about this once before.
Well, it's gotten even more intense because I don't know. I'm just going in there. I like know the prime times. I'm like cornering that market.
Really, Andrew is the
Andrew's
doctor
like,
of thugonomics.
I'm just ripping off all these 8-year-olds out here.
No, there's no ripping off. There's no ripping off. I'm being fair, but it's more me buying stuff from other people too, and also being like, damn, it's nice to find other people that are fair. It's like a lot of things in the game that are like a simple thing. Like 70% of the player base will try to sell it for like 100 or more of something, which is like, and then you'll find someone who will sell it to you for 30, and it's like, one person will be like, "Hey,
So you gotta
would you like
find
it
that
for the
market
thing that's
that
actually
you gotta find yourself a corner where you're selling things for 35.
Yeah, or
Exactly.
50 or 99.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Just go for more than 100.
But it's like
Yeah.
I've been like getting money and then like buying pieces from other people and then selling whole sets for like triple the amount. And like I'm like, good God, I need a new video game. I need it to be Friday.
You've turned Warframe into an economics simulator.
Yeah, my next plan is you can make all these little like Sentinel like not Sentinels. You can make these like Spectre versions of all the enemy types, and you can like bring them into battles to have them just like be your companions and do shit for you. And I've seen people who just like spec out all of their specters with like crazy high stuff and then level them all up, and you can just like stand there in a mission and just summon all of them and they'll just do the mission for you. And I saw some post on Reddit where someone was like, damn, that's like outsourcing the game. And I'm
Yeah, so I've seen
I don't only have to play when I need to.
I've seen people do that with Minecraft of like Ethan. I've seen Ethan do that a lot with Minecraft and like building mines that mine themselves. And it's like,
Yeah,
I get it
I've seen
that you
people
built the
build stuff.
mine, but it's like, what at that point, what's the point of the game?
I've never seen someone build like a self-mining thing, but I've seen people build like whole building rooms around like a monster spawner where it becomes basically like an XP farm.
Yeah.
Slash like you can bring out like if it's like a certain kind, like the zombie one I know makes like monsters and like the zombie villagers you can cure, and like building ones where it's like you can separate out the good ones from the bad ones, and then like send them upstairs and like cure them and like send and like I built one of those, but the like some of that stuff, yeah, you can completely even like automatic chicken cooking and like self-replicating chicken cooking.
All
like
right, we're gonna pump the brakes at automatic chicken cooking. Ben, tell me what you've been playing this week.
I continued my season of 2K or NBA 2K with Chris, and
you have to
I
make that
got
distinction now. NBA 2K.
Yes, it's true. But I got my I got my third championship overall. My second championship that we played the first 2 games, and I stomped him in both.
Nice.
So he wanted to just sim the next 2 because he was also at home for those games, and I stomped him. In mid season, he beat me in one game where I only shot with one player. He beat me by 3 points. And I was frustrated because he'd out-rebounded me by like 20 rebounds. And so I went and I like just checked who I could trade my center for and like some other young kind of big man who are on my team. And one of the offers I got was for Russell Westbrook and Clint Capella, which was a rim-protecting center and a better point guard, which were the exact 2 things that I needed. And Chris was just like, oh, man, that's like not kind of almost not fair. And I was like, all right, well, if you don't think it's fair, I won't take it. And he's like, no, you can take it. And I was like, I was going to not take it. And he's like, no, I want you to take it. I'll be offended if you don't take it. And
yeah, I need to be able to challenge myself.
Okay, if you want me to take it. And so then, yeah, I have like I have Russell Westbrook and Michael Jordan as my point guard and shooting guard. And then I have Luka Doncic as my small forward. And then I have Anthony Davis as my power forward and Clint Capella as my center. And
It's just like a power team.
Just unstoppable.
my team is insanely fast, like because of Westbrook and Michael Jordan. So I just usually rebound it, dish it to one of the two of them, and then have the other pass that to the other one who's usually out running towards the basket. And then they are usually either open for a wide open dunk, or else if they're not, they can pass it to Luka for an open three. And it's just over.
Just damn near unstoppable.
He's in the midst of retooling because I currently have a perfect lineup.
He's in the midst of retooling.
Yeah, it's like trying to beat Mike Tyson in Punch Out. Yeah. He's like, he has to challenge himself to that final fight.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, what game was it? Was it Punch Out on the Wii where the final boss was Donkey Kong?
I never played it.
And supposedly he's like harder than Mike Tyson on the NES.
Huh.
But sounds like you're sounds like you kind of ruined the game for you and Chris.
Well, he told me to, in fairness, but we're gonna make sure that Kobe is in the historic draft that we're using this year, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up with the number 1 overall pick, and so I'm just gonna let him have Kobe.
Oh, that's a tough
nice
sacrifice
nice gesture
for you.
But I've got MJ, so.
Yeah, you've got MJ. I mean, MJ's the greatest of all time. But I know how you feel about Kobe, so.
Oh, I do love Kobe. But I've got Kobe White, so.
All right. Fair enough.
I've got the living Kobe.
Yeah, rest in peace. All I played was Outer Wilds this week.
Outer Wilds?
Yeah, you might actually like this game, Andrew.
What is Outer Wilds?
Yeah, actually. Oh, but he can't play it because it's an Xbox.
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, I'm pretty sure it's on PlayStation.
I think, they just released this recently on PlayStation. How is that game?
I mean, we're gonna discuss it more in depth on
Blessed Waiting
on Game Pass Anonymous, but like.
Would you give it a yes play?
I don't love it.
I think you would like it. But to me, it is very frustrating.
Yes,
it's very. It's very frustrating.
Yeah,
very frustrating.
Frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I fully recognize the quality, but. It is just not my kind of game.
I mean, it's basically like looks almost like a small version of No Man's Sky with more of like a purpose to it. No,
kind of, yes,
like a single galaxy version, but like every planet's like very.
But also like throw like Myst into that.
It's
okay, like super unexplained puzzle game.
Yes,
and yes,
that's exactly what it is. You described it perfectly.
Like
super
you have no
unexplained.
idea where to start.
Yes.
I texted you the other day while I was playing it that I feel like it's Myst with fucking first person controls, and that's exactly what it feels like. Kind of. Like,
I remember my aunt back in the day was like super proud that she and her sister beat. The first Myst game without like a guide or anything. They just like figured it out, and I'm like,
I mean, in that
I played
the first
that game.
You could like with some stuff, like if you just went through and clicked every fucking pixel on the screen, you were eventually gonna find because it's all it was.
I remember trying as a kid. I remember trying to play the game like 10 or 20 different times, and I would just walk around the first area, like just clicking on every little thing I could possibly think of, and like nothing ever happened really. And like I only found one thing, and I had no idea how to even like make it happen. That weirdly though, now that the internet is more prominent. Curious.
Yeah, I mean, you might like it. Like, I think that you might like it. It's basically
if they give it away for free, I'll definitely play it.
It's
Ooh,
a
you
it's
get
a
Game Pass because then you can get it for free. Oh
Yeah,
wait, you don't
Game
have
Pass.
Xbox.
it's a solar system, and basically the entire solar system is one giant puzzle, and you just start and
With
like
weird lore things. I remember the trailer review was basically like, yeah, you have to basically just find all these, like, everything is just lore based. Like there's no...
Well, that's so. There was one guy who was like, "What are you, at the very beginning?" Who was like, "What are you gonna do?" And he asked me if I was gonna do like all of these different things, and I was just like, "I have no fucking idea what you're talking about." And so one of the options was just wing it, and I was like, "I guess I'm just gonna wing it because I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about, man."
yeah. So
And then now I'm thinking back, I'm like, man, maybe I should have said just wing it.
well, I can promise you, Ben, it's not making a difference because I didn't say just wing it, and I am just as lost as you are.
No, you're definitely not as lost as I am. But you also probably played. I think you played a lot. Like I like the first couple times that I played like 3 lives each, and I just had no idea what was going on. And so like then one time I finally landed in a place and shot a thing into a thing and like figured out that I had like a place to go, and then I went there and got eaten.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like I don't understand if I need to go back and get eaten again, or like if I'm so fucking confused.
It reminds me of those, like, it's like a very trial and error type of game.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know. I've played a few games like that I actually really liked, like strange puzzle games that have no words. I might actually like it.
I honestly think you would.
To a guide, and like most of the guides were like, yeah, I can tell you what to do, but you're not going to have any idea why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I looked at a guide, and I'm like, based on Ethan's judgment, I'm about halfway through the game, and I looked at a guide, and I'm like reading this. I'm trying to find where I am, and I kind of found where I was, and I was reading through, and
but
like
they are all in different orders than like I've been
because
doing.
there probably is no order. It's kind of
Exactly.
like once you finally find some sort of stepping stone, you kind of got to like go from there.
Yeah. And so I'm like reading this guide, and I'm like, I'm halfway through this game. I have no fucking idea what they're talking about right now. Like, I am drawing a total blank. And so I don't like it, but I recognize the quality. But honestly, Andrew, it's $25 on PlayStation. I think it's worth it for you.
Yeah, I
think for $25,
I've already got a game I'm waiting on, so I don't really need another one. But if they give it away for free, I would 100% play it. That's sort of how I've played most of those games. Like they had another game that's like all puzzle based, but it's like these weird little pipe puzzles. I can't remember what it's called, but it's sort of same thing, like Myst, but it's all sort of cell shady and colorful.
Can we talk about something that's free and cross-platform as the first part of the news?
You know what? Sure, it's time. Oh God, I got to get my music cue ready for the news it now.
The news show. It's the news show. We are now a news show, so we bring you news.
Every time I listen to the news intro, I just think about the fact that Ben just sang that, and then I found like a royalty-free news intro like jingle, and they just fit so perfectly together, and I'm just so happy about it.
I don't think I've ever heard the song.
You should listen to it because it's seriously insane how well Ben's like
chime in or something.
Oh yeah, it's just perfect. But you know what, Ben? You want to lead off with Warzone? Why don't you take the reins on that?
Call of Duty Warzone launches today. Cross-platform, free to play, or an add-on to the game that came out last fall. Everyone says it feels way more like Call of Duty, actually, than the
Other
what the
CODs?
fuck that other the other one that
Blackout.
they released. Yeah, that's what it was. Blackout.
Mm.
It's pretty sick that it's free to play and pretty sick that it's cross-platform.
It's so 150 players. Like that's more than anyone has done.
No, the Apex is 150.
No, Apex is 60.
No, because it's 50 teams of 3.
It's 20 teams of 3.
I'm pretty sure the other night I was in a game that was 50 teams of 3.
How many teams in Apex? 20 teams. There can only be 20 there can only be one legend on the squad. Each squad consists of 3 players for a total of 60 players or 20 teams.
Okay. For some reason, I'm thinking I saw 50 the other day.
But like 150 players, that's a lot. And
Yeah.
then and like I think one of the really interesting things about it is like the so if you die, you go into like a one-on-one Call of Duty gunfight type thing.
Gun game?
Gun game.
Or is it gunfight? Gun game is the one where where the gun changes every time you get a kill. Gunfight is the
Where you
newer
fall
thing
on the
where
ground
you
and pull the pistol out.
No, gunfight I think is like it's just like a one-on-one death match basically.
Yeah, so it's gunfight. And like whoever wins, so you die, you go into a one-on-one gunfight with another player that died. Whoever loses is out. Whoever wins drops back into the game.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Kind
it
of
gives you,
adds like
second
another
chance to
layer.
jump back in.
And so like if you're bad at the battle royale, if you're good at gunfight, you're gonna win.
Yeah, one of my buddies is really good at gunfight. He's always showing me his highlights, and I'm like, damn, those are pretty nice. He's like, yeah, a lot of the time I'm not nearly that good, and like obviously I'm just showing you my highlights, but
Yeah,
like,
so he's like,
still
it's
super
like
special, like Rampage.
you know how many highlights I have from Call of Duty that would impress anyone? 0. So
exactly.
But
It does pique my interest.
it plays in singles, duos, and trios. And then it's gonna be crossplay, so Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
When does the crossplay launch?
I don't know. I thought it launched with the game.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you said it's gonna be crossplay, and that's what
Oh,
made me think
gotcha.
that didn't.
I guess it is crossplay
already
because it's out.
Yeah.
It would be nice to wreck some people who are on PC. Think they big.
Well, Andrew, I mean, you're not able to even play. You're not even able to beat people on console. You're playing Call of Duty Mobile.
Hey, I can still do it.
Andrew plays Call of Duty Mobile with a controller to
do.
feel like a big
What?
man.
What of it?
I thought that you couldn't play Call of Duty Mobile with a controller.
Hey, you can.
Yeah, no, they updated it, but it's
Oh,
just like the vast majority of people don't play it with a controller, and so Andrew goes MVP every time and feels very important.
Feel big.
How did I
Hey,
miss
it's my
that?
full
The
pleasure,
fact that
okay?
he
It does
does
no
this.
harm, no foul. I'm playing fair. I'm just better at it than other people. Like,
I'm wondering about like this Warzone thing. I'm wondering what you guys' take on this is, because I'm definitely going to try it this weekend.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna try it. I'm planning on telling my Xbox to download it tonight while I play Apex.
Do you guys think that it's gonna be able to take, because like their first attempt at a battle royale kind of crashed and burned. Andrew, you and I bought it because we're dumb, but like
I was hopeful, but
Yeah,
now I am
it was
scarred
bad.
and better for it.
I played it because Billy was playing it and had it and bought it, and there's like parts of the map that had like zombies and shit, and I was like, what the fuck? This
And-
is weird.
I mean, they're doing that again because like basically the Blackout map was built out of old Call of Duty maps.
Yeah,
Like, a
totally.
conglomeration of those with geography in between, and that's what this map is as well.
But does it have like actually zombies in it?
I don't know. I don't know, but like I think that that's a really cool way for them to design a map, because it's something that people are already nostalgic for and are already familiar with, and they have a gigantic back catalog of maps to draw from for future like larger maps.
Yeah.
But like, do you think that they'll be able to put a dent? Basically, the battle royale genre is kind of down to it's Apex and Fortnite, and so do you think
PUBG is also still major? Most of my friends play PUBG.
Oh, really? So PUBG is still relevant. Do you think that Warzone will be able to step in and kind of be a fourth major player in the genre?
I mean, if it's as good as like the initial like things that I've read on like Twitter and stuff are making it sound, then I would guess that it could be pretty cool and it could be relevant, especially since it's free to play. Which that's the big thing that
The Battle
Apex
Royale
and
does.
Fortnite have.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge part of succeeding as a battle royale is just
Because that's
Yeah, it would definitely draw in a lot of people that would be
get
them excited about the game.
There's one of my buddies who I work with who just constantly plays Destiny on PlayStation, and that's what he's really into Destiny, which that makes sense. It's fair. But I was like talking to him, and I was like, dude, you should get Warzone, and he's like, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's the new Call of Duty. Battle Royale, and he was like, "Oh, maybe, but it's probably going to cost. I'd be a while before I want to pay for it." And I was like, that's where I've got you. It's free to play." And he's like, "Oh, what are you playing it on Xbox?" And I was like, "Doesn't matter.
That's where I got you,
baby."
And so I'm wondering how they're gonna tackle that as well, because one of the biggest problems with crossplay is A, matchmaking, but B, so like getting paired up with your friends who are on other platforms, but then also B, party chat. So like you can't have and I think that
Discord.
Maybe Discords,
and so I think that in the next generation, and this is something I predicted on this show a long time ago, was like in the next generation, maybe like third-party apps are going to be a big thing. And so like maybe Discord makes an Xbox app and a PlayStation app, and you can just Discord chat.
What if Discord is already just in talks with both of them, being like, we want to do this, and they're probably
I would love that.
I bet I could definitely see that, because Discord they've got some weight to throw around in the whole communications.
Yeah, I mean, in the communications, and specifically, they've carved out like the gamer niche of like, we are gamer communications.
But then like they're gamer communications, but like I know that like people like, I mean, it's also being used in like some people use it in workplaces and stuff like that too. Like, I mean, obviously I know that Slack is usually
kind
more
of
of
business Discord.
But
Slack's definitely, I think, more like, I never really feel like people use Slack for just light day-to-day stuff.
My stupid office still uses Skype.
That's weird. I just like the Skype messaging platform just feels so broken,
antiquated. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I would love to see Discord step in there, and Discord would solve that problem. And so like I don't know. I think that this crossplay thing could definitely push both Microsoft and Sony to be more open to something like Discord coming and taking over the weight of like party chat, and what better game to force Sony and Microsoft's hand than Call of Duty.
Well, and like the other thing that like, because then like people who are streaming I mean, that could just make so much easier for everyone if they were to do that. So that would be nice. Yeah. Well, I'm sure, but we've got a lot of other news to get to. So it's near the top of my wish list for the next gen consoles, which is a silly thing. But
Moving on. Sony in 2016, Sony announced that they were adapting The Last of Us into a movie. But now it seems like they've shifted gears, and they're now they're partnering with HBO
to make a show,
to make The Last of Us a show.
Ooh, that could be kind of good.
Now it gets better, Andrew. Neil Druckmann is both writing and executive producing.
Who dat?
He's the guy who wrote The Last of Us.
Ooh.
And so, like, that's something I think that maybe, like, video game adaptations into movies and TV, or TV and movie adaptations of video games have not done well in the past, is they haven't partnered with the actual creators. Right. And so...
you know, one thing that I'm not really looking for anymore?
What?
Zombies.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that, like, all those zombie shows kind of just have the same plot and like general sequence of events, and so, like, with it being,
well, I mean, if they adapted
flickers,
like
that, like, it's a different kind of thing,
but anyone who says The Last of Us isn't zombies is full of shit.
Exactly. It's still like a zombie vein. And so, I'm wondering it could be like, something like Walking Dead, where it's like, it's good for the first little bit, but then it just gets really tedious, where, like, maybe it'll be like that, or maybe it'll just be short and sweet.
I hope that it's short. I hope it's like 8 episodes for part 1 and 8 episodes for part 2. But I'm
like a lot of those scenes in the first one, especially like the intro of the whole game, there's something more powerful about it because it's a video game and it's not watching a real person feel those feelings and like watching them having created a video game character that is able to like experience, to like show that level of emotion, I think is maybe what like personally grabbed me with it. So I don't know.
I'm curious to see how it turns out.
Entirely on how it's shot, I think.
Yeah, and they're so following up on that. I mean, they're the co-writer and also executive producing with Neil Druckmann is what's his name? Craig Mazin, the creator of Chernobyl.
So what if they adapt it to not be zombies, but to be like, I mean, because you could still use the same story, but just have it be some other post-apocalyptic scenario, still have it just be like a dangerous post-apocalyptic scenario, but just like everybody's dead instead of everybody turned into zombies.
Well, so that would, I mean, the zombies are kind of integral to the plot because Ellie is immune.
Well, yeah, but she could be immune to the sickness that kills everybody.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it would be an interesting thing. I think that zombie fatigue is definitely something the show is going to have to battle, because you're right, Ben. Audiences are tired of zombies. And I think the way that they overcome that isn't necessarily to make it not zombies, but to just focus so much on the characters and make the zombies really, really like more scenery than anything else.
Yeah, and when they do show up, it's like a much more like serious menacing. Because even in the video games, the clickers and things do not just like show up.
Yeah, they're not. It's not just thousands of them.
Yeah, it's a very like panicky moment when they're around because you're like, oh my god, like they're very dangerous.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But I do have to interject, Ben. Who's that adorable little land seal?
Mumbles.
What's his name?
Mumbles.
Mumbles. Good stuff. All right, continue.
All right. But no, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I just wanted to get you guys' take. I think you're both kind of I think you both make good points, and we'll see how it goes. I guess it's I'm not a big fan of the idea of adapting that game because it's just such a good story as it is. So I'm like, leave it alone, but you know, whatever. But
as long as it doesn't interfere with the second one.
Yeah. But
coronavirus.
I don't think coronavirus would interfere with a game, but they might interfere with the consoles. But Capcom has confirmed for the upcoming Resident Evil 3 that Nemesis will be stepping up the difficulty quite a bit. So the series has these iconic safe rooms. Andrew, I'm sure you're familiar.
Mm-hmm. Now they're just room plus.
Yeah.
Well, so if he's not chasing you, there's still a safe room.
Right.
But if he's chasing you, he can bust into them. But it's harder for him to bust into them than it is through normal walls and stuff, I guess.
Which makes it, I mean, it kind of forces players.
But then if you break it, then it's no longer a safe room, which that would be a bad thing.
I mean, those first 3 Resident Evil games are all pretty much like hard like that, like in that way where it's like you fuck up or you like use it. I mean, the first one's like you save too many times, you can't save no mo, and like you know, they're kind of games that are made to be like, if you don't know what you're kind of going at and trying to do, it's very easy to cause yourself a forced game reset. Like if you're really bad and he broke all your safe rooms, you're just like, I'm fucking lost. Everything sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of think, like, especially with the Resident Evil 2 remake that happened last year, I feel like that game did such a good job of modernizing an old game and making it, you know, making it a 2019 game. And a big part of that is quality of life. And so I think that this is a cool idea, because making it so you can permanently destroy a safe room is really awesome. And it makes running from Nemesis
you can turn your own game difficulty by letting him break them.
Exactly. But I feel like this should be an option and not.
Yeah, that should be like hard
not
mode
forced on
instead
you.
of normal mode.
Yeah.
Like, and then extra hard mode is all the safe rooms are always broken all the
time. And it could be potentially, because because there's different difficulty modes in Resident Evil, aren't there?
Yes.
So
maybe it is.
The article didn't really mention if it was a specific difficulty or anything. It just mentioned that
that is a capable thing.
Yeah,
that's true. And so I mean maybe, like, I don't know, I don't know, we'll see. What
it seems like it would be like, if somebody's going to play it on easy and you don't have an actual safe room that you could just run to if he's directly chasing you,
that just
then
fucks
the
that player
not
over.
Easy.
Yeah, it immediately makes it like sort of unfair. It's like,
yeah, and
well,
so
maybe not, because on easy mode there's probably ammo like fucking everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But if someone plays it on easy, they're very deliberately wanting to play it a certain way, which I totally respect.
Yeah, they don't want to have the hard thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, and Mr. X was one of the most stressful parts.
I wish I could have played the second one without having Mr. X at all.
Yeah, and that honestly,
amazing.
I totally agree, and that's kind of what worries me about this game, is like the original Resident Evil 3.
What's with the constant looming threats?
Well, exactly, and the original Resident Evil 3 was an expansion on 2. Originally, it was intended to be an expansion on 2, but then and it was just an expansion that was built entirely around the Mr. X mechanic. But then they decided, hey,
make it in game.
It's going to be financially advantageous to just call this expansion Resident Evil 3. And so it was an entire game designed around the single thing that I disliked the most about Resident Evil 2.
And that's why I never finished it.
And so, I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm definitely going to finish it. Like, I'm still excited for it. I hope that they find a way, like a better means of like instantaneous checks and balances for Nemesis than they had with Mr. X. But I'm
Like, I don't know why
worried.
they don't just do an update. Just do an update where you can just turn off Mr. X, and I'd play the game. Just make easy mode where he just doesn't come out anymore, like at all, unless it's like a specific moment in the game.
Make him
like,
very scripted.
Yeah, make it scripted. I hated that. I hated fucking hearing him stomp around. I felt like I couldn't, because like Resident Evil games, it's
so
nice
much.
to be able to like take your
Yes.
time and look around corners, and like when you hear him like stomping off in the distance, you're like, fuck. Like, I feel like I can't hide in this room for very long, because if he comes walking in here, it pisses me off.
I didn't hate him that much. Like, I feel like I disliked him, but to me in that game, I usually hate and don't like that type of mechanic, but to me in that game, I was kind of like, oh, this isn't actually that bad. Like, because I felt like I could get to like a point where I could go to like one half of the map, and then he would just basically be off on the other side fucking around, and I could just, like you guys were saying, just kind of take my time and do my thing.
I don't know. I never really got far enough, I guess, to encounter any moments like that personally. So,
but that's because
I mean,
once you have to have like a lot of like once you have all the doors opened and stuff like that.
Yeah, then you can just hustle away.
Exactly. That does make him a lot easier.
He's a much more oppressive presence in the second playthrough. And so he shows up basically immediately, and you never get even like the initial opening to like explore the police station the way you do in the first.
Is that
playthrough.
when you're playing?
Well, but you already have
Leon?
the second playthrough, or that's because you're on your second playthrough.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
assume, like, you already know the layout of the police station. We want to make this harder for you.
But there are like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. I'm pretty stoked on this. I like this idea. I hope it's tied to difficulty. If it's not, I feel like that's going to be a pretty major mistake. But I think that if it's tied to difficulty, that's incredibly creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that sort of turn, because if they keep going in the direction they're going, I would love it if they remade Resident Evil 4 in some way, because I personally loved the fourth one. That was like probably my favorite one, and that one doesn't have a looming threat creature thing.
It's
so
like
if they added one, that would be really annoying, like some sort of fucking werewolf thing. Like,
well, I mean, it's like it's not mine, but like it's the vast majority of Resident Evil fans, 4 is their favorite. And for that reason, I think that they're going to keep, like, people are hungry for a 4 remake. And because of that, I think that they're going to remake 0 and 1, at least 1, if not 0 and 1, before they remake 4, just to keep people on the hook for a while. Keep people buying games.
Like that,
everybody wants the trip to the fucking mansion, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want a remake of 1 more than I want a remake of 4. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
5 and 6 were pretty. 5 was kind of fun, but 6 is fucking garbage.
7 was a masterpiece, though.
I found 5 to be problematic. Pat and I have discussed this.
Yes,
in depth, but
we don't have time for that now. But we'll find out next month when Resident Evil 3 comes out. Moving on though, 2K has announced recently this week. Was it today, Ben?
Well, 2K and the NFL announced
a partnership with the NFL, and they said that they would be releasing, quote, non-simulation football game experiences. And
really? Did it say non-simulation? I missed that part.
It did say non-simulation. And so
Madden is the exclusive simulation.
Well, I'm not sure if that's like, there was no mention of if that was 2K's choice that they're going to be doing non-simulation. Like, maybe they just don't want to try and compete with Madden. Or if it's like, because I mean, 2K has a lot of experience of seeing, what happens when you try and compete with the juggernaut. Like, NBA Live is still struggling.
Well, but a lot of people preferred the NFL 2K games, but my understanding was they lost the license.
So they didn't. They kind of lost the license, because what happened was
Didn't EA get an exclusive license or something?
What pushed EA to buy the exclusive rights was in 2004 when EA released Madden 05 and 2K released 2K5. 2K, like, they stomped EA that year because they sold it for $20. And so it was like, your kid wants an NFL game. There's Madden for $50 or 2K for $20. And so
yeah, it's sort of a no-brainer.
Everyone bought 2K that year. And then EA said, no more. This is bullshit. We're never going to lose like this again. And they just bought the exclusive rights. So there's no mention in the article that you sent if they're not allowed to make a sim game. I wonder if they would in the next couple of years, and I wonder if it'll be $20 again, because that would be a blast from the past, and honestly a pretty good strategy. But Ben, you're the one that's most into sports games of the three of us. Do you think that do you think that eventually they'll end up in something like a Madden competitor, or will it be something more like NFL Blitz?
I could see it being something more like NFL Blitz. Like, I wonder if they are even in the process of well, no, but the NFL is also trying to move somewhat away from the violence thing. So I don't think they would ever actually go back to the Blitz, because I feel like violence is a big part of Blitz. Even when they were trying to make it closer to a simulation, violence was still a big part of.
I wonder
Blitz,
if they
in the GameCube one and stuff.
I wonder if they could kind of tone it down and make it like more palatable for today's audience, and still make a Blitz game. Like make it maybe not so violent, but more arcadey.
Yeah, potentially.
And I mean, imagine like if 2K comes out next year, like next fall, and announces like Blitz 2K21. People would lose their fucking minds for that shit.
Yeah, they probably would. Kind of like they did when they re-released NBA Jam.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that Blitz making a comeback could be in the cards. I think that would be pretty cool. Like, I would, if it was $20, I would buy Blitz.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious to know what it would look like without the like violence aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if they turned it up and made it like really clean and nice looking, then it just has to be like random violence. Like,
well,
but that's the NFL doesn't want to associate with that at all.
Exactly.
Would be my guess. And so, because the NFL doesn't want to associate with the like big violent hits that they used to want to associate with, because those are the ones that cause chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Well, they all cause fucking concussions, but
so I mean, think back to like the NHL Hits games. Those games, I mean, Hits was definitely like it was the same idea but hockey. And Hits wasn't nearly as violent as Blitz was. I think maybe if they had used like the same level of violence that Hits had.
Did you play the Blitz that was on GameCube?
No.
So that was it. It wasn't like the old school like 64/arcade Blitz where you could like after the play like body slam guys and stuff like that. It was like, I mean, it like they just would do like goof. Well, from what I remember, they would just do like more like kind of goofy, like big hits, sort of like, but it was like kind of cartoonish. And then the announcers were really kind of like hokey.
Yeah.
Like,
so it sounds like it was more like NHL Hits.
Yeah, no, it totally was. Like, because Hits was there a Hits on 64?
No.
Or was Hits only on GameCube?
There were only 3 Hits games. There was Hits 2002, Hits 2003, and Hits Pro. And that is just a fucking shame.
That was when they brought the Blitz series to
GameCube, PS2, and Xbox.
They decided that they would. I didn't realize that it was on all 3. I guess the only place I ever played it was on GameCube.
Yeah,
but and there may have been multiple years of it too. I only remember playing 1 year. But there was like you could have like franchises and stuff like that. There was franchises and stuff, and it was like, but it was still like, it was like cartoonish, but like not. I don't know. So, I guess it was a little arcadey.
So there was a game called Blitz Pro, which there was also Hits Pro that same year, and I mean that's probably the game you're thinking about, and like. I think that's like, do that level of violence, like make it not so violent, but just like arcadey and silly. And I think that could be a winning formula for 2K.
Help them work with younger fans too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, and especially when you actually, now that I'm starting to talk myself into it, I'm like, well, yes, especially when you have like people in the league like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, who are almost like arcade players. When you really kind of like think about it and watch them, it's like, oh, like, yeah, that actually does kind of maybe make some sense.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I'm not a big sports game fan, but like that's a game I would pay attention to. I would be pretty stoked if fall of 2021, I guess. Oh shit. We got, they announced Blitz 2K22. I'd be into that. I guess we're going to skip over the topic of the show because we just spent too much time talking about news, but that's okay because there was a lot of news this week. So
you lose when you watch the news.
To wrap it up, new leaks from industry insiders are pointing to a pro model of the PS5 at launch. As we discussed last week, we're not entirely sure when launch is going to be. And as each day passes, I feel more and more confident that launch will not be this year. But the PS5 Pro would be made to compete basically with the Xbox Series X and could potentially really, I think it could shake things up for this generation, because I think this coming generation is already starting to look like Microsoft is. I think Microsoft has set up their pieces better than Sony has. And
I don't know, the Sony pony is making its way close to the race.
Well, and that's the thing is like Sony having a PlayStation 5, I think could really change things, because if Sony has one PlayStation 5 and it's $500, and we talked about prices a couple weeks ago. But if Sony has one PlayStation 5 and it's $500, and Microsoft has Xbox Series S for $400 and Series X for $600, then they get the budget people with the Series S, the people that want the new consoles, but they don't want to spend an arm
and a leg,
right? And then they also get the enthusiasts with the Series X who just want power; they don't care how much it costs. And who's left buying the PlayStation 5? But if Sony were to launch the PlayStation, yeah, basically people like Andrew. But if Sony were to
that
launch,
means they'll be easy to get.
If Sony were to launch a PS5 Pro at $600 and a PS5 at $400, that could totally change the conversation.
Right? Do you think a $200 difference?
I mean, I think that if they don't, I think that the Xbox is going to be $400 and $600 because of the differential in power. That being said, if Sony doesn't match the prices, I think they might as well not even launch the PlayStation 5 and just go with the Pro.
I hope that it's not Series S. I hope that it's because it's currently just the only name we know of it is Lionheart, right?
Lockhart.
Okay, yeah. Lockhart.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they end up calling it, I think
hopefully it's Series L.
Series L. Why?
For losers.
Losers.
Well, that you two are idiots. But I mean,
A lahu as a hose.
the rumor of the series of the Lockhart is that it won't be able to play in 4K. The rumor is that it'll play in 1440, but it won't play in 4K, and that's how they're going to be saving money. Is
what? But so then it's not even as powerful as a 1X?
No, so it'll be more powerful than a 1X. It just won't output at as high a resolution as the 1X.
Would it still output fucking like movies and shit at 4K?
I mean, I would hope so, but also like another rumor around the Lockhart is that it won't have an optical drive. So it'll be all digital.
Well, okay, but why couldn't it still like output 4K?
Well, so I mean, there's it could still output 4K. It could still, I mean, the Xbox One S can output 4K in movies and streaming, like,
yeah,
but it can't play games in 4K.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of what we're looking at is like it'll be able to play games at 1440, but it won't be able to play games at 4K, and that's that combined with like the optical drive and the optical drive, like no optical drive pushing people to buy digital games is kind of how they're gonna run that play and make up the difference between the Series S and the Series X. But getting back to the PS5 though, so if there, imagine that there is a PS5 and a PS5 Pro at launch, not really talking about price right now just yet. Which are you two going for? Are you two going to go for just the standard PS5 or are you going to go for the Pro?
I might go for the Pro.
hard to say without knowing the prices.
Yeah.
Okay, so that actually is a great lead into my next question. How much would you guys be willing to pay for a Pro?
600 would be a lot.
Yeah,
especially if I'm gonna have
like
to pay
the
600
max.
for a Series X as well.
Yeah. 600. That's my biggest thing is like, I'm going to buy both. And if there's a PS5 Pro and a Series X, I'm going to buy both the PS5 Pro and the Series X. And that is going to be a tough pill to swallow because in just a matter of months, we've gone from, because like in November, we were looking at, I can't even remember what it was called before it was called Series X. But in November, before they showed us the Xbox, we were looking at that thinking it was going to be $500 and the PS5 was going to be $400 and I was going to be out $900 this fall. But instead, now it's starting to look like we're going to be out like $1,200 this fall, which is a lot of money to be spending on video games in one holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
But so what would you guys be willing to tolerate for PS5 Pro price?
500 would certainly be like a more easier
Tolerable.
to feel, but yeah, 600 would probably be the max I'd be willing to spend on something like that. If it was more than that, I would probably just wait.
Really? Would you wait for a price cut or to buy it used?
Either.
Yeah.
I would maybe buy one used.
Ben?
I would probably just like wait and I don't know. Then I would probably make a decision. If it's 600, I would make a decision between
Xbox and
that
PlayStation.
and the Xbox, and then I would wait and buy the other one eventually, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I see no universe where these things are more than $600. But
You never know.
I think that it's totally realistic to expect them to be $600. If Sony's doing a PS5 Pro, I totally expect them to be 600. No more, but 600 I think is totally reasonable. That being said, 600, especially considering I'm going to be buying both the Series X and whatever the PS5 Pro is, I think 600 is the max that I'd be willing to go.
Yeah.
Prior to these rumors about the PS5 Pro, I was kind of thinking, like 600 for a Series X, 400 or 500 for a PS5, and then maybe a couple months down the line I buy a Series S as well. But at $600, it's going to be quite a while until I get the Series S. So we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens. I just can't believe they haven't told us more. They haven't given us more information. Like, it's fucking March.
Well, they probably aren't giving us more information because they're
just like,
we may
the
not
PS5
be
is a mobile.
these.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think maybe that's why they're holding back?
I mean, well, like, is E3 gonna happen?
I mean, the ESA says E3 is still on, but like, GDC got canceled, so
South by Southwest got canceled. Apparently they were talking about canceling Coachella. Like, large groups of people are not going to be a thing for a while.
Yeah, I mean, so I could totally see
talking
E3
about,
getting
like,
canceled.
Because, like, a big part of the NCAA tournament is in Ohio, and the Ohio governor just said that they didn't want to have, like, large gatherings of people, and so they're talking about how they may be having to play like a quarter or something of the NCAA tournament without crowds.
Oh, that would be crazy.
At least. Which, I mean,
Wow.
It may end up being like the whole tournament plays without crowds, though.
That would be so eerie to watch on TV.
Well,
Just a quiet basketball game.
Before they completely canceled the Italian league, they were playing the games without people in the without people in the stadiums.
Yeah. I think you bring up a good question, Ben, is like, is E3 even going to happen? And as of earlier this week, the ESA confirms, yes, they're still on track to do it.
Well,
I think
they may do it, but just have like a presentation stage where it's like, yep, we're just filming it. Everybody watch it on your fucking laptop because we know you have it.
well, and in that case, if that were the case,
phones, right?
if that were the case, then, oh God, don't get me started. If that were the case, though, I don't think the ESA would be really orchestrating that. I think it would really just be like Nintendo Direct and an Xbox Direct and PlayStation Direct, and like that would be what it was. I mean, they would all do their own Nintendo Direct style presentation, and that's what we would get for E3.
Well, I mean, Sony never Sony doesn't really usually go to E3, do they?
Not anymore. So Sony is done.
Yeah, but Sony's already said that
E3.
they're not sending people to any trade show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And I imagine Microsoft will probably do the same.
yeah. It's so, I mean, unless this thing gets under control pretty quick, I think E3 is on their way out. And if E3 gets canceled, then that's all
she
I
wrote.
think that it'll be at that point I will feel confident in saying I feel like it is more likely that the PS5 and the Series X come out in 2021 than in 2020. But that is it for the news at now. It just kind of turned into a news show this week, but it's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
Trivia!
What's the point? Ben's gonna win.
Maybe not. There has been, are you guys ready for this? There has been one Call of Duty Black Ops game, excluding mobile phone releases, that to this day is a platform exclusive. What platform did that game launch on? Was it A, the Xbox 360, B, the PlayStation 3, C, the Nintendo Wii, or D, the PlayStation Vita?
It was a Black Ops game?
There has been one Call of Duty Black Ops game, excluding mobile phone releases, that to this day is a platform exclusive.
Wait,
I guess I'll say
repeat the options one more time.
Is it A, the Xbox 360, B, the PlayStation 3, C, the Nintendo Wii, or D, the PlayStation Vita?
Okay.
Who feels confident? Because we'll go to them last.
I feel fairly confident.
All right, Andrew, you're up first, buddy.
Trying to remember. I sort of think I remember, but I don't know. The thing that makes the most sense to me, I'll just say the Wii.
All right, Ben.
Vita.
Are both of you locking in final answers?
Sure.
Yes.
Ben, the PlayStation Vita had Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, which actually has a pretty high resale value nowadays. Andrew, you were right in thinking that Black Ops released on the Wii, but it was just the normal Black Ops game. It was the same game as the 360 and the PS3.
Vita does make the most sense thinking back on it, because it's just Vita had all those it had Chains of Olympus and those very system specific. Yeah, but handheld.
The thing that I was like, okay, well, if it was Black Ops, the timing would have been weird for it to have been an exclusive on Wii, because that was when Nintendo was kind of winding down the Wii when Black Ops came out.
Well, this is what
and that's when the Vita was in its prime.
Well, so the Wii got Black Ops, and actually the DS got Black Ops, and then the Wii U got Black Ops 2, and the Vita got Black Ops Declassified. And Black Ops Declassified is actually considered a spinoff of Black Ops 2. So, as usual, Ben gets a point. But sorry, Andrew, I'm really not writing these for Ben to win. But that's all we've got for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to leave us a rating and a review, and subscribe on whatever platform you found us on. You can listen to our other podcast, Game Pass Anonymous, and see everything else we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. We'll be back next week talking about whatever happens in the next 7 days. Hopefully it's not as much as what's happened in the past 7 days, and we'll also talk about graphics. But until then, reset.
Squirt, squirt.